Welcome to the Ruckus Theater, guys, where I got a short game of Commander for you. First up, we got James on Classic Blue Farm, myself on Rakdos the Muscle Aristocrats, Josh on Rogshy Ristic Slop, and Kevin on Zul'Doc Cascade Storm. Let's get into it. James is going to start off by playing Cavern Souls, naming Human, and cast an uncounterable Esper Sentinel. I'm going to play the backside of Imperial Monk Mystic Peak, and tap it to cast a Mirror Moon Vessel. Josh is going to play out his Commander Rograk for free, and then play a Tundra for turn, sending it over to Kevin. Kevin's going to play a Planar Nexus, and tap that to play a Candelabra of Tawnos. Alright, on James's turn, he's going to play a Volcanic Island, and then he's going to cast Mox Diamond, discarding a land. Then he's going to tap all three of his mana here to cast his Commander Tymna the Weaver. Once she resolves, we're moving straight to combat, sending the Esper Sentinel over at Kevin. And then James is going to pay 1 life to draw a card off Tymna. Over to me, I'm going to cast a Chrome Mox, not paying for the Esper Sentinel. I'm going to discard a Molten Duplication so it taps for a red. Then play a Crystal Vein for turn. Gonna tap all 3 there for a Skittering Precursor, because Kevin can't be the only person with Eldrazi here. Over to Josh, he's gonna play a Volcanic Island of his own, and then he's gonna tap that to cast a Sensei's Divining Top. And then send it right over to Kevin. Kevin here's gonna play a Strip Mine. He's gonna tap his 2 lands for a Grim Monolith, and then tap the Monolith for, in his words, a cheeky Basalt Monolith, and then send it over to James. And to James, he's going to untap and play a Command Tower for turn. Tap 2 to cast an Arcane Signet. And then he's going to move to combat, swinging Tymna at Josh and Esper Sentinel at Kevin. Kevin will take the 1, but Josh will block. So then James will pay 1 life and draw 1 card from Tymna. Then he's going to tap 3 to cast an Intuition targeting Kevin, with Breach, Lion's Eye Diamond, and Brain Freeze being the pile, Brain Freeze going to hand. On my turn, I'm going to play a Wooded Foothills, sacrifice it, get a trigger from Skittering Precursor, getting a Badlands. Then I'm going to crack my Crystal Vein, also triggering Skittering Precursor, to make Rakdos mana. Can do a little gentle nudge here by sacrificing the Mirror Moon Vessel to Rakdos to make 1 colorless mana, trigger Skittering Precursor, and exile a card with Rakdos. That card is Song of the Damned. I'm going to use the mana from the Mirror to cast Song of the Damned, and then 1 mana from the Eldrazi spawn to cast Grim Monolith, not paying for the Esper Sentinel. In my end step, Josh is going to spin his top, then go to his turn, untap, play a Spire of Industry, and then pass straight to Kevin. Kevin's going to pay 2 for a Thought Vessel, also not paying for the Esper Sentinel, and then straight to James. On to James here, he untaps and is going to play a Windswept Heath. He's going to shortcut to go find a white-blue land here. Then he's going to cast a Mox Opal that is online, then a Mana Vault. He taps the Mana Vault and floats a mana for a Grinding Station here. Then he's going to use his floating mana and 2 more to cast a Jessica's Will that's going to target Josh. Exiling a Rain of Filth, a Silence, and a land. Moving to combat, Tymna's going at Josh, and Esper Sentinel's going at Kevin. After combat, he's going to play a Chrome Mox, exiling a Mystic Remora. He's going to try and play a Silence, which Josh responds with a Swan Song. James has a Pact of Negation, and Josh responds with his own Silence, to which James Brain Freezes over top of for 9 copies to mill 27 cards for his next turn. On to me. I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to play a Priest of Gix. Float 3 black mana. Sacrifice him to Rakdos. I'm going to play a Scalding Tarn from Exile here, and then exile a Cabal Therapy from my hand to cast Grief, targeting Josh. It's going to discard the Born Upon a Wind that he has in hand. It's going to sacrifice itself to see 4 more cards. Spend 1 of the floating mana to cast a Soul Ring. Use the Soul Ring to cast Golgari Thug. We're going to cast cast Sacrifice on the Skittering Precursor to make 3 black mana, and in response I'm going to fetch, go find a Blood Crypt, and then exile 3 more cards with Rakdos. From here we see a Culling Week, which we're going to cast on the Golgari Thug to make 2 more black. We're going to put Priest of Gix on top of our library here. Then we're going to cast Demonic Tutor, which you're going to find is an Ashnod's Altar, and then we're going to sacrifice 1 Eldrazi Spawn to cast Reanimate to target Golgari Thug, and then from here I'm going to throw it back to in person where I explain it better. By sacrificing the Golgari Thug, Rakdos trigger and Thug trigger, Thug puts himself on top, Rakdos will exile him, and 1 more card every time. So I'm going to see my whole deck here, if not responded to. Everyone's still good? Oh. Cool.
I unfortunately have no response.
Thanks for me from the past. Now that my whole deck is in my hand, I can just get whatever win condition I need. In this case, I'm just going to use a Sephiroth. And there you have it. Sometimes if you just sit down crisscross applesauce in an active war zone, you can wait it out and just play cleanup crew. I hope you liked this week's game. If you did, please go ahead down and leave a like. And while you're at it, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!